As I'd mentioned, just sort of to set the tone for you, I know here's the coordinator, I feel, is Joseph, and after Mass, he's going to give a talk here about it. And of course, he'll remind you of what's happening tomorrow as well. But to help set the tone, you have to use your mind or imagination with me. This was the church, Father Raoul's church. Where the monument is the front door of the church. And it was there that he was the last one, and he was surrounded by some chiefs. In fact, Bozeman Rapids, which is the name of the rapids in the river right here, was Chief Bozeman was shot by the English there. And so the rapids are after his name. And there are many aspects of the chiefs, the braves. One was Carabasset. We have the Carabasset Valley. So this whole area has been influenced by them. So this was the front door of the church. That's where he was martyred. And most people don't know, but when the Archbishop of Boston bought this land in the 1800s, it was before our diocese was even a diocese. And so the lady that owned it, I have a copy of the deed, she asked for 100 silver pieces. And so they gave her 100 silver pieces. And it's also interesting, when Father Raoul was martyred here, as well as the Indians, they scalped him because the English had a price on his scalp, and the price was 100 pieces of silver. The exact same price that we bought the land, or the bishop did. His house is right there in that crown of trees, Father Raoul's house. He would come out, the church would be right here, and down on that side over there was the first school in what is now the state of Maine. And it was a Catholic school. The very first school in what is now the state of Maine was his Catholic school. So that's sort of this is the sacred land. And that's why today we're praying for all of the martyrs, the Native Americans, as well as Father Sebastian Raoul. It was their faith, because they asked him to leave several times, but he said, who would take care of my children? And so he wouldn't go. And so he was faithful right to the end. And so were his children that he took care of, willing to give their own lives to try to save his. Now, the original cross that was on that church is now on Indian Island. That's the cross on Indian Island. That was what was here. So today we remember Father Sebastian Raoul, and Joe is going to go in much detail today and later on, tomorrow as well. But you are standing on sacred ground. And last week, the Wabanaki Nation, 150 people came. They had a service in the Pines, which was also part of the reservation. And they came here and they placed on top of that stone some medicine bags. One representing the priests and the other the Native Americans. So still to this day, people remember Father Sebastian Raoul. He was dedicated. And as a priest myself, if all the priests were as dedicated, we'd be in good shape. Dedication. So remember Father Sebastian Raoul. May he rest in peace, and all the souls, the martyrs of the Norwich Walk tribe, may they rest in peace.